Hello everyone, welcome back to your channel. I hope you all are doing well. So today we will discuss about the decision making and branching statements in Java language. So first of all we will see what is the decision making statement. Here the decision making structure have a one or more conditions to be evaluated or tested by a program along with the statement that are executed. If the condition is determined to be true, then and if the condition is determined to be the false. Let's say in real life we make a decision. The decision may be with a true or false. It may be the yes or no. So in the decision making, what it says, if the condition is determined to be the true, it will execute it, or if the condition is determined to be the false, it means it makes the decision. So which are the decision making statements? Here is a list of decision making statement like if statement, if else statement, else if ladder, nested if, and the switch statement. All these decision making statements we will see one by one. Here is the if statement. An if statement consists of a boolean expression followed by one or more statement, right? Then syntax of if statement is here is the if keyword, and we have to write the condition in the rounded bracket, and inside this curly bracket we need to write the code. Here we will see the simple example of if statement. This is a Java compiler, online compiler. Here we don't need to install any IDE and the JDK. All the things are provided here online. We can use it for the different languages like HTML, Java, C, C++, JS and PHP and many others. So if you want you can also use it. So now we will here start with our program. Firstly, we will declare the variable. Okay, so we use the if, and in that we need to give the condition. We will give the condition that if x is greater than 20, then it will print. It will print x is greater. Yeah. So we will run this. X is greater, and what we did, we just give here the one condition and we execute that. So in if else decision making statement, if statement is followed by the optional else statement, which is executes when the boolean expression is false. In if statement, what happens, only the true condition is execute, but in if else statement, if the condition is true it will execute the if block, and if the condition is false then it will execute this else block. This is the syntax of if else. Means that we have to use the if as a keyword, then in the round bracket we have to give the condition which is true, and inside the curly bracket the code, and the optional part is else. This is a syntax of if else. As we already use here the if statement, so we use one else statement so that we don't need to again create the other program, right? Then it will, what it will say, it will print that x is smaller. Okay, as we already know, because the x value is 222 and the x 222 is greater than 20, so it will print this block of code, right? So again we will run this, and yeah, x is greater. If we change the value of an x, what we will do, we will change the value of x is 19. Okay, so which part will execute? Let's see. Yeah. X is smaller because the value of the x is 19. So the 19 is less than 20. So this part will not execute because this part will execute only when the value is greater than 20. So here the value is less than 20. So the else part is executed. Next, we will see else if ladder. An if statement can be followed by an optional else if or the else statement, which is very useful to test various conditions. Suppose we want to check the two or more condition, then at that time we use an else if ladder. And if you want to check only the one condition, right? At that time you only use if else statement, but in else if you can check more conditions. So there are few points we have to keep in mind while performing the else if ladder. So first one is an if can have 0 or 1 else and it must come after any else if, right? Means the else part will become after the any else if. Then the second one is if can have a 0 to many else if and they must come before a else. Third point is once an else if succeeds, none of the remaining else if or the else will be tested. So here is the syntax. Here the if condition will be given. After that else if, and this else if is not in. Yeah, it's not. It's like we have to give two else if. No, you can give it as per your decisions. As per your condition. If you want to give the two conditions, then at that time you use two times. If you want to use three times, four times, you can use as per your decisions or the conditions. So if the condition one any of if the condition is executed, then other part will not execute it, right? If the above three of the conditions are not executed, then and then only else part will execute it. So here we will see nested if. As the name suggests, nested if, it means we can use if inside the another if or the else if statement. In syntax, we have to use if condition if that a part. As we see the example of if else statement, now we will see the else if ladder. Okay, so here we need to change some values. We will declare the x as a 30, no, 30, yeah. Then we will here change the condition that if x is equals to 10, right, then it will print value of x is 10. Value of x is 10. Then we need to take the else if block, right? Else if, in that we will give the condition as a x is equals to 20. Yeah. Here we will print value of x is 20. And in the else block of statement we will print 30 is not available. Right. So so here we will run this program and let's check. Okay, the 30 is not available because here we first in the if block we check 30 is equals to 10. No, then it will goes to the next block else if. So the 30 is equals to 20. No, then it will goes to the else block, and so the else block is 10. And if we change the value of x as a 10, then we will see output. So here it will execute this block of statement, and here it will print the value of x is 10. Okay, there is a lot of advertises are coming here, just ignore this if. As the name suggests, nested if, it means we can use if inside the another if or the else if statement. In syntax, we have to use if condition. If that expression is true, then it will execute this part, and if that part is false, then it will execute this condition. That is nothing but nested if. So as we already write the code of else if ladder, so we just need to delete this. Okay, we will delete this part. Yeah, and insert this part. We will make just sorted code so that we can understand it easily. Okay, so here we will declare, if we already declare the value of x, and we will again declare the value for the y variable 20. Okay, and here is the if statement is already given, right? And this if, inside the if, we will again use a if statement for the next if. Okay, so here we need to do the condition as a y is equal to 20, right? And then it will execute this part of code, and here we just simply print value of x is 10 and value of y is 20, right? And we simply run this program. Let's check what will be output. Okay, semicolon is remaining. The value of the x is 10 and the value of y is 20. This is nothing but this is the example of nested if. It means if inside if. This is the switch statement. A switch statement allows a variable to be tested for equality against a list of values, and each value is called as case. What happens in a switch statement, right? There are multiple switch test statements are given, and out of that, the value which is true, it will execute, and it will break from that loop. So here is the syntax of an switch statement. Switch as a keyword we have to use, and here we will write the expression. Expression, it means a condition, and here is a case 1, case 2. It maybe depends on us how many case we have to write. And in that case we have to write the statement and this break. Suppose the expression is given and this case is true for that expression, then it will execute this statement, and if it is true, then it will break and it will go out of loop. Here is the one curly bracket is remaining, so try to understand. So now we will see the switch case statement. We just need to drop this code, yeah, delete this code, and just we will see the example of switch case. Firstly, we will use character, and here we use a grade variable, so we can check the grade in different cases. Okay, so here we will give same, and we will check the declare the switch, and that here we will use grade, right? And inside that we will give the cases, case A, right? Colon, after that print we will just print that excellent. Okay, it means grade A, it means excellent. Okay, that's great. Then here we will break. If this case will execute, then it will break from that case. The next case will be. Then here we will print well done. Okay, well done. And just we will break this case. Oh sorry, we are okay, yeah. And the third one case is the C. Case C. Here we will simply print something good. Okay. Yeah, and just break. If you didn't give the break, then it will execute the next case also. So that's why break is important. And the one more case which is default. Default case prints default value. Default case will be printed that the case is not available or the grade which is given is invalid. Invalid grade. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Just we will run this program and let's check. Okay, good. So here we given the grade as a C, and now in the switch block it will check the grade. Which grade is given? C. So it will check the C. It will go for the grade C, and in the grade C, what is the block of code that is a good? So here the good is. But if we check the grade as a A, okay, so it will give as an output excellent. Okay, and if we check, okay, if we give the grade as a B, then the output will be well done. Yeah, well done. And if we give the grade out of A, B, C, okay, we will give one grade as a D, okay, and let's run it. So it will provide an invalid grade, means it is out of cases. So the default is also important. It is a part of syntax. We will see the loop statement in Java language. As we see the decision making statements, like we have to perform the decisions condition. At that time we use the decision making statement. But what is loop statement? So here we will see there will be a situation when you need to execute a block of code several number of times. A loop statement allows to execute a statement or a group of statements multiple times. In decision making statement, what we do, we have to perform the decisions, and according to that we perform. It may be the true or it may be the false. But what happens if you want to perform the particular code or the particular statement with the several number of times? At that time we use the loops. We can't execute it with the help of decision making statement. So here we use loop. Then which are the loop statements in Java? There are three loops: while loop, for loop, and do while loop. All the loops we will see one by one. First, we will see while loop. A while loop statement in Java programming language is repeatedly executes a target statement, and as long as given condition is true, right? So in the while loop, here is the while loop, and here we will use a condition, and here is a block of code. And suppose if the condition until this will executed as long as the given condition is true. If the condition, once the condition will be the false, then it will exit this loop and it will go out of the loop. This is nothing but the while loop. In the do while loop, a do while loop is similar to the while loop, except that do while loop is guaranteed to execute at least one time. Right? This is the difference between the do while loop. While loop and do while loop is the similar. Means we will execute the conditions. We will execute a number of times. But, but the one difference is that here in the while loop, if the condition is determined false, then it will not execute this rest of the part. But in while loop, what happens? Here is not condition is given, because the condition is given at the end of the no loops. Okay, so what happens if the condition is false, but we don't know that the condition is false, then what do it does, it will execute this part, and then after it goes to the while, then it checks that, oh, the condition is false, then um, at the time the this part is executed. It means the do while loop is execute at least one time, but the while loop is not executed at least one time if the condition is false. That is a difference. Next, we will see for loop. For loop is a repetition control structure that allows you to efficiently write a loop that needs to execute a specific number of times. A for loop is useful when you know how many times a task to be repeated. So, as a while loop and do while loop, for loop is used to execute the specific number of time, right? But the thing is that in a for loop, we know how many times that loop will be executed. Then only we use a for loop. So here is the syntax of for loop. For loop, we will initialize the variable. Then here the condition will be given, and then here is the increment the variable or the decrement the variable, and here is the statement or the block of code. It will be executed for the number of times. So I hope you understood this. Thank you.